How are you?
I'm good, Adam, and you?
Yeah, I'm pretty well, thanks, considering.
Yeah, consider the time you're living, eh?
Yeah, man, crazy times. What have you been up to? You been coaching still through online or anything, or?
Yeah, I'm doing like 4 or 5 times a week on Zoom. We have a big team of coach, so a big coach team. So everyone that is myself, Lachlan, Livia, Sean, April, Cooper, and Oliver. We are all teaching. So it's like 4 or 5 classes each coach per week.
Coach judo as well, yeah?
No, just jiu-jitsu.
Just
Just
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Judo. I am a student at the moment, and
Oh,
I and my intention is to keep as a student. I do judo since a young age, but I don't have intention to teach judo, to be honest. So just for fun. Judo is a passion for me, but I like to go. I train with Dan Kelly,
oh, nice. Very good.
so he's my coach, and I like to go in his gym once a week. So get bashed by the monsters there, and that's it. That's my fun. Yeah.
Just for something different, yeah?
Yeah. No, I learned the hips there, man. There's a great gym.
Very cool. So when you got started in jiu-jitsu, you were pretty young?
The first time I did jiu-jitsu, it was 1996, and I was almost 20 years old.
Yep. As in
But
Sao Paulo?
yeah, but I have the judo background, so I started judo when I was 4. São Paulo, yeah, countryside of São Paulo.
Very cool. Yeah, and you started when you were about 20 years old, and did you compete straight away, or did you wait a while?
In the first month of training, I was competing.
Awesome. How did you go?
I lost first fight. But since then, I still competing, and yeah. I had a little break in between, in between 96, 98. I used to have, I was very busy. I was working in São Paulo City. It was like 1 hour away from where I used to live. And I was doing university in the nighttime as well. So I couldn't train very much, but from 98 and so I'm training every day since then.
Nice, very cool. And you obviously competed a fair bit as well. You've won some pretty, reasonable level tournaments. I believe at brown belt you got third in the worlds. Is that right?
Yeah. In 2007, yeah, I got third. Yeah, in 2006 I got third as well. But I don't know if you remember, in Brazil you had a second world federation. So it was a pretty good level as well. The IBJJF, they used to call that. And I got third place as well, losing the semi-final to Antonio Braga Neto.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got in world level. I got podium twice in the brown belt. Yeah.
Very impressive. And when did you make your way to Australia?
I moved to Australia in July 2010. So.
And what?
Yeah, almost living in Perth, man. Almost moved to Perth.
Nearly? Because of Gustavo, yeah?
Yeah. Gustavo actually was the person who brought me to Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what made you want to come here?
To be honest, it's a little bit funny because I didn't want to move from Brazil. Gustavo was associated. The Mac one was associated with Extreme in Chadstone, Melbourne. And Happy was John Donahue's student. Yeah. And Gustavo used to work to Happy Desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in Chadstone, John started to teach football clubs. Like he's to work for Carlton and also for Melbourne Storm on rugby. So he wasn't teaching much anymore, jiu-jitsu. And he wanted a Brazilian teaching in Melbourne, right? So what happened, Gustavo called me first time in 2009, like around middle 2009, something like that. And I didn't want to come. I said, no, I'm fine in Brazil. I will stay here. Then the Gustavo knows Carlos Vieira as well. So Carlos was living in Australia already. And then Gustavo introduced Carlos to John Donahue. He's not John Donahue. They are different people. Huh?
Different.
So
yeah.
the Australian John. The Australian John. I don't know if you know
I do,
you
yeah,
know him. So then Carlos worked there for like a year, and Carlos started his work with Cia Paulista. And then Gustavo called me again, but this time my wife was near me, and she said, "You never told me he invited you before. So what would you like to try? Why we don't try? It's a dream for me to live overseas." And then when the boss says something, you just listen. So it was a big move because she used to work on IBM. I used to have a little company, a sales company. So it was just myself, but we were well set in São Paulo state. So we weren't rich or anything, but we had a comfortable life. And I didn't want to lose that, actually. I had my students as well. I had 2 cities I used to teach, and I had like around 80 students. So I was growing up in Jiu-Jitsu wise as well. So I didn't want to have that move. So, but everything happened, and then I started to teach at Extreme in July of 2010. Yeah, 5th of July. I will turn 10 years in Australia soon.
Wow, awesome. And then how long before you became coach at Absolute?
Man, I started at Absolute in January 2011. I didn't go very well at Extreme. I'm very grateful for everything they did to me. But actually, our plans didn't go across. So I didn't have a good experience there. So a part of it, I appreciate they brought me here and everything. Wasn't going to work. So fortunately, Extreme had a like associated gym in Ringwood.
Yep.
And their head coach there was Bern Jenkins, who is a good friend of mine. And one of Bern's students was Simon Carson, who is the main owner of Absolute these days. So Simon was opening Absolute in CBD, Melbourne CBD, and back on these days he was a blue belt. So he needs someone to run the jiu-jitsu classes, and he liked a part of I didn't speak English very well. I still not doing very well, but 10 years ago was terrible. A part of I didn't speak English very well. He trusts all my skills and my work, and he gave me the chance. I started with 1 class per week at Absolute, and then everything happened. The rest is history. Yeah. So
amazing. Very cool. So now you're head coach at the Absolute in CBD, and you're coaching there.
Yeah.
Time? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I had coach all Absolutes, including I'm the responsible for the jiu-jitsu program. Of course, Lachlan has his independence on St. Kilda. He does his program and everything. But in Collingwood and CBD is pretty much I supervise and everything, and I grade everyone in the club.
Mm-hmm.
So I grade my students, Lachlan grade his students, and I grade Lachlan. So
so yeah. And so you, like, before this COVID stuff, how often would you coach? Like all day, most days?
You mean these days or before?
Before COVID. Were you coaching like 3?
No, every day. No, it's my full-time job. Full-time job. I arrive in the gym 9 a.m. and I leave like around 9 p.m. every day. So private classes and classes, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's a big workload.
Yeah, I have like around 35, 36 hours of teaching per week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of jiu-jitsu.
Lots of jiu-jitsu all day in my mind.
Do you, how often do you roll? You can't roll all the time, right? Because you're on the mat so often, you'd be getting injured and stuff and fatigued.
I'm almost 44 years old, right? So it's not like before.
Yeah.
I still competitive. I still rolling well, of course, but My thing is I like to row in the mornings these days. So what I do, we have every day competition class at the gym.
Yep.
So we have like a 10 a.m. session. That session like is session for 15, 20 people, no more than that. So what I do, I row with the young guns in the morning. And then on my classes, sometimes I row with the students, but more to help them. And it's very light for me. I no pride, no anything. So
yeah,
it's just more like educational role for me and for them, because I learn a lot as well when I row that way. It's different than when you compete.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a lot of give to get.
Yeah.
And when you give to get, when you use that kind of mindset rolling, you learn a lot as well. So, but mostly I row in the mornings, like Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday I do the judo training.
Yeah. Or grappling all day, nearly every day.
Yeah.
And your kids, are they training?
Yeah, the training. Taina is doing judo already for 2 years. She started with Dan as well, then Kelly. Then she started jiu-jitsu with Gustavo, because I wasn't teaching kids yet. So now in home, I'm teaching everyone. So I teach more Taina and Naomi with the Zoom classes. Dylan is just turned 3 years old. I can't put him on the Zoom classes or he ruined my class. And it's important. The class is not just for them. The class is for the other students as well.
Of course, yeah.
So then I teach Dylan more Thursday, Friday, and the girls every day, Monday to Friday. They learning, man. I don't push them too much, but I do more for fun. So they learning. Taina, who is turning 8 years old, she's doing a lot of things. And Naomi is more like movements, and she's doing more by instinct, to be honest. But she's learning, man. She's in very new brand student. But I think it's a little bit on their DNA. So
yeah.
And I consider like I have something with me. Grappling is like a natural human skill. Same as run, same as jump, same as climbing. So we have that naturally on our in ourselves. So if you put any kid to grapple, they will grapple. So
yeah, if you leave two kids
you just
alone,
need to organize that.
Yeah, if you leave two kids alone, they'll just start grappling. If they know nothing, they just start wrestling, and it's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not normal punch. It's not normal kick. They learn that in the life, but grappling is normal.
You can see even like watching novice people grapple. Sometimes they kind of do things sort of correctly without even really knowing anything. It's just a natural sort of way of moving.
We do movements by instinct, man. Also after 26 years or 24 years in jiu-jitsu or 40 years in grappling, I still doing things by instinct. Sometimes you do it. We try. The difference in between us and the beginner, we do much less. So we try to do like around 95% of the things really planned.
Yeah.
But definitely, everyone, don't tell me you don't do anything by instinct, because it's not true. You know, everyone does.
Especially
so if you have a bad situation, like if you're training, like I said, they give to get, and you're training rationally, you have no pride, you're not competing. It's 100% plain thinking, you know. But when you're competing, everyone, if you're in a bad situation and all answers you had doesn't work, you're gonna do by instinct something, or you lose. You know, like that's most of the time you avoid that, because you know the chance to lose is increasing when you do that. But everyone does. So it's the same as someone come to you and say, "No, I don't use it straight when I roll." Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we try to reduce that, but no one is free of that. So
especially again under pressure, straight away you start to make stronger movements and to move more, breathe heavy. It's normal. Yeah.
we just try to condition ourselves to have that muscle memory, to have a good muscle memory.
Be more efficient.
So then you can, yes, then when you move by instinct, you do correct movements. So
yeah, not to
so
waste
that's
energy.
it. Yeah.
And
But
do you have many plans to compete in the future, or it's hard to say at the moment, I suppose?
it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. Like last year, I put a lot of pressure on myself, to be honest, in terms of competition. I did a good Brazilian national, but then I went to the World Masters, and I was too worried about the result. One thing I wasn't doing for a long time. So because my thing always, for many, many years, is about my performance, not about my result. What makes me have a lot of pleasure when I compete. So I don't know what happened with myself. I put too much pressure on me, and we failed, right? So I think that didn't help. And this year I had a plan to compete at least five times. Like I was going to do states, VIX, and then nationals, and then Pumpex, and World Masters. So at least 5 competitions I was going to do. This 4 plus something else. So I was expecting to do probably some invitational show or something like that, because I still like to compete no gi as well. But we don't know anything anymore. Maybe Pumpex, man. I still hoping to be competing on Pumpex this year.
Is that October?
Yeah. Also, if we don't train much, so I think we need to support the community right now, and the competitions and everything. I'll be joining the comp anyway. So yeah, Pumpex I'll be doing, and I was expecting to do a couple judo competitions because I still needing to score some points for future black belt plans. You know? Yeah, I'm brown belt since 2005 in judo. So one day I need to get this black belt. I have no rush or anything, but I need to score those points anyway. So yeah, probably 1 or 2 competitions in judo this year as well. Yeah.
Did you win Victorians in judo? You did, yeah.
I won on Masters, and I got 2 times bronze medal in adults. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I don't train very much, you know, like the guys they do. But I compete well, so decent well. I'm not like phenomenal, but I'm competitive. So.
Do you have a favorite throw?
Man, I love Tomo Inagi.
Yeah.
Because when I fail, I am in guard.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For my style, like this is like a strategical for a competition. Strategically, is a takedown. Of course, is a sacrifice takedown, but gives me the opportunity to work the newaza if I fail. So that goes very well in my strategy. So I'm effective on that. I have couple ippons in competitive scenario with this takedown. Yeah. So it's actually a good takedown to myself. So I like Uchimata. I like a lot of what they call in judo ashi takedowns.
Yeah.
So using the legs like Kochigari, Osotogari, Sasai. I'm not very good on hip throws. I know the technique, of course, but in effectiveness, I'm better with the leg takedowns. So all of them, Osotogari, Sasai, Kochigari, Ochigari. So I'm good with them. Perfect.
That's good for jiu-jitsu as well. They're more, I find anyway, competing, the more ashiwaza techniques work a bit better than a lot of the hip throws in jiu-jitsu. It's hard to get under your opponent's hips. Yeah.
Yeah, because like in terms of if you fail, you don't give your back, you don't expose your back. That's another reason for I like the ashiwaza. Yeah.
Much safer, yeah. And like you said, even with sacrifice throws in jiu-jitsu, it's okay. You're on your back. It's not a problem. Like you can just grapple now.
Yeah. I don't. I for the sacrifice I use in jiu-jitsu more the Tomoe Inagi. So Yeah, yeah. It's very safe. You know, I do like some modified. I don't do classic. I do with both feet on the hips. Like I do a little bit modified, but it's a good modification. So
yeah, yeah.
the fake judoka. That's how they call me in the gym. Fake judoka.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And what are the plans for Absolute in the future? You guys obviously do pretty well on the competitive scene and things like that. Do you have any sort of goals for? Do you know if any more Absolutes are opening and stuff? You have multiple locations internationally now as well, right?
We have Shanghai and we have
Thailand, right?
Phuket.
Yeah,
Phuket,
yeah.
Thailand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 5 Absolutes at the moment. Just a second, I need to come back to the cable here. I will
no problem.
switch spot. Of course, the plan for the gym is to have more clubs, but this year, man, is now our idea is to still open. Actually,
Yeah,
we are very. The gym is strong. Like I said, Simon is a great businessman. It's pretty good to be with someone like him and like Daniel Hubertson, who is a older partner. So, and myself and Lachlan, we are good instructors, so we have good name in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So we 100% we're gonna keep going, of course, but that I think that's not the time to
try to grow.
To have any plans for expanding or open new gyms, you know.
Yeah.
This time is like to recover from that crisis.
And try to stabilize.
And stabilize the club and keep working. So it's a really good, big work to keep the 3 gyms in Melbourne open. Mm-hmm. So actually, St Kilda is at the moment they doing a big renovation there. So they under construction right now. Yep. So the gym is looking pretty awesome. So they probably gonna have a very nice gym when the students come back. What probably is gonna motivate everyone. And also in Melbourne CBD, we changing. We were doing that before the COVID, of course, but we are renovating the gym as well, putting new equipment, we're doing a lot of things, man. We're renovating all sites as well. So when the students they come back, they're gonna have a very good club to be training. So we investing actually. So
yeah,
what is good
to do that sort of stuff. Yeah.
But the biggest change is gonna be in St Kilda. Definitely, they're doing a big reconstruction of that, so you're gonna surprise a lot of the students.
Very cool. I remember when I was over in the CBD club. It's a good size gym. A lot of good space for a club that's in the CBD. A lot of gyms in the CBD are smaller clubs normally, but it's a very good size.
Yeah. It's a big site. So we have 235 square meters of mats in the mat 1. We have 3 mats there. You didn't go, but we have another level on the top of the building, on the level 11, where they train striking. So there is a lot of probably 150 square meters of mats on the level 11. So we have Muay Thai and boxing classes on the level 11.
Huge gym.
So we have probably around over 500 square meters in CBD for training, martial arts training. What is impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah. I was going to ask you about Lachlan's performance at ADCC. What did you think watching that?
Oh man, it was impressive. It was like we all know his potential, but also himself got surprised about the result. So I think like good strategy, good day, and a lot of confidence in what he was doing took him to the win. And I think the fact Craig did very well on the first in 2017. That helped him to have that confidence as well, because the belief, like, and it's good for all Australians as well to believe on themselves. And also what Levi is doing is pretty important too, because people are seeing they can reach a position that we couldn't imagine before. So they're very important for the history of the sport in the country, in my opinion. That's like a milestone that changed, you know, like Australians should be part of the competitions more as someone who can win than just someone who was there to
participate,
to fill the bracket. So
yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
that's really nice to see that. So I'm very happy to see, because they train a lot. Lachlan and Craig, they deserve that, you know, like for the hard work they do. So I'm very happy to see the success those guys they reaching. Also Levi as well. I don't know Levi very well, but I know he's a workaholic. So people like that deserve the best, you know. I have a lot of admiration for hard workers, and they hard workers, so they deserve the best. Yeah,
put the work in.
yeah.
It definitely was cool to see. Just like you said, Australians doing well. You know, it's making the sport sort of explode, especially no-gi in Australia.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of people, man. Actually, it's a big. Actually, some of my students, I need to force them to train in gi because they don't want to do anymore. You know, I believe like the specialization. This is the point. Like specialization for athletes. You know, I believe like every day more, that's gonna happen. So people are gonna be more like, okay, I'm a no gi athlete, I'm a gi athlete. In the future, probably you're gonna have that split.
Yeah.
In between gi and no gi. I'm pretty sure that will happen.
It's too hard to be the best at both nowadays.
Yeah, I think it's a very polemic topic, because I still believe in you need to don't forget no gi when one as your focus, because in terms of continuation to yourself as a jiu-jitsu instructor or gym owner or something like that, if your intention is just to be athlete, fine, that's fine, you know what I mean? You can choose one of them and keep going. But if you have plans to be a gym owner or a coach, I think it's important you keep evolving in both.
Me too.
Because you actually, instead of open doors, you close doors.
Yeah.
But as an athlete, of course, 100%, you know, you need to be specialist on that. So some people can come to me and say, okay, but I want to be the best I can on this option, and then I can offer the best to my student on that. Fine, that's fine. You can have one of the sides you're going to be stronger. But in my opinion, it's not smart you close doors, you know? So
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is just like what you're doing and what you want to do. So like, yeah. It's really good actually. In these days, everyone is multi skills these days, you know, right? So like that's what the world is going. Like you do multiple things because the knowledge is open. Like you can learn multiple things. It's different than the past. Like people couldn't do much because the education, they couldn't be educated to do much. And then when I see people like, oh no, I'm just no gi, you know, that's for me, that doesn't look like very smart in terms of like the knowledge you can get, you know. So
yeah, in terms of evolving as a grappler, it's closing yourself off to knowledge.
Yeah, but not as athlete. As an athlete, I am totally happy with people choose, you know.
It makes sense.
The topic. Yeah. It's like sometimes it's hard to explain that, you know, because but
I know what you mean.
If you have open mind, it's easy to understand.
You shouldn't specialize in the beginning. It's more something probably for later if you're going to be a high level athlete.
Yes. But we're gonna have people training. You're gonna see, man. I believe in no more than 10 years, we're gonna have more like 10th Planet style gyms, you know.
Yep.
I believe that will happen. But well, let's see. Let's see what the future. Let's see what the future is gonna offer to us. But I believe like more people are gonna insist on that, and more people are gonna be just no gi, you know. So.
Yeah. Do you think that's a result of like ADCC and things like that?
Yes, as well. But there is a lot of shows these days, like
EBI
or Polaris, but there is a couple shows coming up as like Spider for gi as well.
Yep.
I believe it's gonna happen for both. And if you see, what happened is, like, in my opinion, the shows, they sometimes they come up and they disappear. And that's the biggest challenge for the no-gi world, because they have the ADCC. The ADCC come every second year. ADCC is a solid organization. Like, you have IBJJF on gi, is a very solid organization. So we have IBJJF running up world since 1996. So that is like 24 years of history.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest challenge in no-gi, because every show they have, like, EBI has one rule, and then another show has another rule, and another show has another rule. That's not unified.
Yeah.
So I think when ADCC becomes like yearly, I don't know if one day they will do that, but if I was the head of ADCC, I was going to make that become yearly, not just every second year. So I think that's gonna help the no-gi scene to grow even more, you know. So
more structure and more organization, stronger organization.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that the fact, like, you have different shows and different rules, that doesn't help.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get the Spider, like, one is just submission only, and then other is just EBI rules, and then other is like IBJJF rules, and other is ADC rules, that doesn't help.
It's so hard to train like that.
Yeah. So I believe, like, I'm not saying I'm right? So I'm far from that. I'm not the person who is going to rule the world. So I just believe, like, when you have like a unified rule for the shows, that's going to be better for the scene. Because there is more shows going to be stabilized because how many, like, we started the no-gi scene, like, for shows with like Metamoris.
Yep.
Metamoris disappeared. Right? Then we had EBI. EBI had a couple shows, but last year I didn't watch many shows from EBI. How many EBIs happened in 2019?
Yeah.
I think one. I don't remember EBI last year. Do you remember?
I think they're doing just like combat jiu-jitsu now, like striking on the ground, kind of slapping.
So you see, they change again the rules.
Yeah.
So then we get Polaris. Last year I didn't remember much Polaris happened. One Polaris, maybe one.
I think so.
I don't know how many shows a year they're doing, but you know what I mean? Do you understand what I want to mean? Like,
of course,
I want to see like a show, they come, like now Chelson is doing that show, SUG, yeah?
Mission Underground, yeah.
Craig is doing very well on that show, actually. So that show looks like, at the moment, the best no-gi show.
The most organized, yeah.
Yeah, but do you see, like, that happen by seasons?
Yeah.
And then you see, like, IBJJF Worlds is every year. Boom, boom.
And they have,
boom,
Pan Pacs and Europeans
boom.
and Pan Ams, and it's,
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see on no-gi scene.
Yeah.
I think that's the big, when the no-gi scene can have this, they are already paying more than gi. That's a fact. We can't. For the athletes, right? The athletes get well paid, better paid in no-gi shows than gi shows. But this is one fact, what is pretty good for no-gi. But when they have this, plus a show they can have like that show happening frequently, I think that's going to be really big change for Nogi. So
yeah, it will explode from there,
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my opinion. So to be more like a more now is professional because we can compete this and that, and then ADC every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's how I view it as well. When you first came to Australia, what's the biggest difference in jiu-jitsu in Australia then compared to now?
Oh my God, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like starting from the black belt division, there's not many black belt competing. These days we have lots of Australians black belts, right? So there is many people who were white belt when I got here. They black belts now. So yeah, man, it's completely different. It's a different world now. So like the level, I think we still is small in terms of numbers, but you need to understand Australia is a country. The population is 25, 27 million. So of course, comparing to America, they have 360 million people there. Comparing to Brazil, 210 million. Comparing to Europe, the whole Europe the population is huge. We're not going to have so many people doing jiu-jitsu, but the level, it's incredible. Like MMA, jiu-jitsu here, it's really good level. Like people get surprised when they come to do seminars and to compete here. So I saw a couple people coming here to thinking they were going to clean up, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, the level it's a big. I'm so happy to say that, you know, like the level here, it's growing up every day. And what I think Australians, they have the culture of like drilling, and they're really good learners. So like they very worried about the details and the techniques, like actually more than Brazilians, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like in Brazil, we like a lot to roll, like pretty much like roll in Brazil is something really like Brazilians. They if you live they trend rolling all day, they like to do that. Everyone does, of course, but Australians, they more worry about the drill, about the details, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So what push the level, the technical level up.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of good coaches in Australia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Australians, they like to have a good methodology of teaching, and I actually, as a coach, I learn a lot here as well. So you know, like really good coaches in Australia.
Do you find the syllabus is more sort of organized here than Brazil, or is it similar?
Depends of the club, but I think here there is a lot of people worry about that, you know, like to organize the classes, and yeah, definitely 100%. It's like I said, it's good level of education in Australia. Like I think people are well educated here, so they translate that to jiu-jitsu as well.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Like they have that. Yeah, cool. So I just have good things to talk about Australia. I mean, I'm a big fan of this country. So
well, you're still here. So
I am a proud Australian. So
you're a citizen, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And obviously you've been here quite a while now, so you're planning to stay here, obviously. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are happy.
Amazing.
My kids are Australian. They were born here. We are happy here. So we never know the future, right? But I don't have plans to move. So
yeah. So you must be glad you listened to your wife then.
Yeah. Like we see my kids on the school here and everything is a pleasure. Like it's really good. I'm very grateful about everything Australian offered to us, and you know, like we do everything to return something good to the country as well.
Do you visit Brazil often?
Yeah, last year I was there. 2 years ago I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents are getting older. Melissa's mother is getting older, so we have to come back more often.
Make the effort to visit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're all in Sao Paulo region?
Yeah. They in Dayatuba. Actually, Dayatuba is the country city, 1 hour away from São Paulo city. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's really close to São Paulo, but it's not São Paulo city yet.
Yeah, well, São Paulo is the state
São Paulo
as well,
State.
right? Yes.
Yeah, São Paulo State. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And do you train at all when you go back, or just to see family, pretty much?
Jiu-Jitsu doesn't never stop to me, man. When I come back, I like to roll with my friends.
Yeah.
I still having a lot of students there. Like I have a couple black belts under me there.
Cool. Yeah.
People who run their own clubs, and let me see, 1, 2. I have 5 students running clubs there.
Awesome.
So usually when I go, I do seminars. I teach seminars to them.
Mm-hmm.
I teach seminars in friends' schools, and I train with my coach. Yeah, I teach at my coach club as well when I go. It's pretty nice.
Very cool. You've traveled quite a lot with Jiu-Jitsu as well. You've done the world, and you've done Euros and different events as well. So you've traveled a fair bit for Jiu-Jitsu, yeah?
Not much anymore, but I still doing traveling. Last year I went to Brazil and America. I compete the Europeans. I compete in different countries. World Pro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you went to America several times to compete there. World Masters, and yeah.
Awesome. You actually won the trials, Oceania trials as well, didn't you, when you first came here in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that. It was pretty nice. Actually, it was the first time I competed the World Pro. I won the open class, the trials. Then I compete in the main events. In that year was the only year they had gi and no-gi on the event at the same time. I got quarterfinals in no-gi. Was good. And I lost first fight in gi to Nivaldo Oliveira. Yeah, pretty good competitor. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good feeling. And then I got World Pro 2 times after that as well. So once I won the trials here, and then the other one I went to by myself. Like I paid the trip and went there. In my opinion, it's one of the nicest events in Jiu-Jitsu. The World Pro is pretty nice to compete. I recommend to everyone. It's pretty nice how they set up the event there. It's pretty good, man.
Lots of effort they put into it, yeah.
Yeah, but you feel very professional competing on that competition, you know. Mm-hmm. It's pretty nice the way they organize and the way they do everything. They pretty serious with the World Pro. I like that.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the chat today. It's been really good actually learning, about you and what you get up to and stuff. And I'm sure that people will enjoy listening to this and getting some more knowledge about what you get up to on that. Appreciate you having you on.
Well, I hope everyone liked the chat. So, and I can't wait to see you in Melbourne again.
Yeah, man.
And actually, I need to visit Perth as well. The last time I been in Perth was in December of 2010, man, almost 10 years.
Wow. I'll try and get you out for a seminar, something at my academy.
It's going to be a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
All right, bro. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.